I apologize for the lateness, guys. I've got nothing to say. It's been a crazy time. I'm trying to shuffle loads of things and unfortunately videos have taken a back seat. But that's all I'll say about the matter. Apologies. For those that are new here, my name is Martine and I make content around being a freelancer, design, passive income, print on demand, all of that good stuff. You may notice by my channel that I create quite a lot of Redbubble videos, hints and tips, all of that kind of stuff. I have a general store that I don't share with my audience, and I found that was somewhat limiting. So my solution to this, which you'll find in a video I'll link somewhere, was to create a store that I can actually show you guys from scratch, the ins and outs of that entire store, tie that to my RoguePixel brand, and have full transparency of how we go about building the store, promoting the store, creating designs for the store, and all of that good stuff. So this is part one. I've had to cut it into two parts. It was getting exceedingly long, so we cut it into two parts. This part is going to cover the initial creation of the store, making it look pretty, putting an avatar, making a banner, all of that kind of stuff. Uploading one design in full where I'll give you full details of exactly what I'm doing, why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. So part two is going to cover the tags, the title, description of that design. We'll take a look at all the mock-ups after we've saved our design to make sure it looks exactly as we want it to look on all of the products we've enabled. And then finally, we'll just go through some final shop stuff, pricing, all that kind of stuff. So I hope you stick around for both parts, guys. Part two will be released pretty much as soon as this video goes live. So make sure you catch both. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. So here I am, folks, right in the beginning of my new Redbubble journey. So we'll set up our shop. At the moment, all I've done is I've literally registered. So according to this Redbubble article, please keep in mind that only one account can be connected to any given email address. So if you want to open multiple accounts, each must be opened under different email and username. So that's all I did. I provided a second email address and username, and I got my confirmation, and now I just need to create my store and add some initial designs. So I'm sure everybody who's watching has been through this already, so bear with me as I get this done. We'll just quickly go over setting up the shop, adding a banner, adding our avatar, and then I'll go a little bit more in depth in adding some designs, keywords, descriptions, all of that good stuff. So I hope you guys will find this useful. So let's start simple. Let's add our avatar. So like I described in the video that I will link to above, I was finding it difficult to market some of the stuff that I had on Instagram where people would ask me where they could purchase my designs, and I was kind of like, well, I can't tell you what my Redbubble shop is because it's private and all this stuff. And I thought, this is just silly. I need to make a separate account that's tied to my brand that I can market appropriately. Hence why we're making this second Redbubble shop. So I'm going to keep my initial Redbubble store as my general store where I experiment and try new things. And this store will be directly related to the art that I create and I share under the RoguePixel brand. Okay, so I have all my files ready to go here. So I'm going to use my little Grim Reaper avatar it was never meant to be a logo for me, but it's kind of cute. And I seem to have it representing my brand everywhere. So why stop now, right? Oh, this looks so barren. Okay, so what now? So I've got a nice simple cover image that kind of represents the type of work that I will be posting up here. It's going to be heavily related to nature and retro themes, abstract, colorful, geometric art, which is my favorite type of thing to create. And it's super, super fun. I had to name myself RoguePixels with the Z. Unfortunately, RoguePixel Studios was too long and RoguePixel was already taken. So hence, same on Twitter, hence why I'm RoguePixels on Twitter as well. So that's going to be my main shop name. I don't know. That's going to change at some point, but whatevs, we've got that down. That's fine. I'm happy to see mature content. So I think that is all we need to do for now over here. So we'll save. Okay, so now I just need to add my payment details. Rightio, so I've added my avatar, cover image, bio, confirm my email, name and address, my payment details. Let's just do this. Add a social link. It's so nice to have loads of different, my actual proper social media that I can link to my store. My portfolio site as well. So let's save that. Okay, so let's go back to our dashboard. And now I've done everything. So, oh, I don't have a nice shop view, do I? Because I'm an unknown right now, so this is what we're looking at. So let's add some designs, shall we? I have some ready to go. I think I'll only take you through one in depth and then add a few more off camera. So let's go to Seller Art, add designs. Here we are, guys. This must be familiar territory to most of you. Okay, so I've got this folder here ready with some designs. I might pixelate some of these that I haven't uploaded yet because some of them are still live on my original store. I need to pull them down. So the first design I'm adding is a isometric techno text design. It kind of reminds me of the 80s and the colors that you used to see on everything growing up. So hopefully it'll hark to those people who like kind of retro designs that while retro, they still look futuristic at the same time. I quite like that whole look. So this design, like everything else I produce for Redbubble, and this is just personal preference, your artboard size can vary from what mine is, but I always design on a square canvas, unless the design doesn't call for that, but for the most part on a square canvas, 2000 by 2000 pixels, and I export it at 300 dpi, which does inflate it. Obviously export as PNG, so it has a transparent background. Even though I know this design looks great on black, I'll always, and I suggest you guys also do this, give it a transparent background. So I'm going to come back to all the title and description later, but for now, let's optimize this. So the first thing I do is make sure that everything is enabled. Yes, I doubt parents are going to buy their kids a Techno shirt, but I make it available. There's geeky parents who like to dress up their kids in weird and wonderful ways. Who am I to deny them of that? So this is going to be quite a statement. Well, it's a statement design, so I'm not going to skimp on size. So we'll make it as big as we possibly can for the size that we have available. Notice that whenever you scale up and down, Redbubble will slightly adjust the positioning of your design. As you can see, the more I do it, the more it's creeping to the left. Even if I do a slight adjustment, always make sure if you ever rescale, you center everything vertically and horizontally again, because it will always go out of whack. So that's a good tip for anything you design. For everything else, I'm going to keep a black background. So the sleeveless tops, whenever you go to align it vertically, it will always go right to the top of the collar, and that's not what I want. So for this, I tend to just eyeball it to the center and then align it horizontally. And I know this is a fiddly bit of uploading. Just take the time to make sure that everything is as optimized as it possibly can be. You don't want to phone it in at this stage, guys. So just take that time to make sure that every product is looking good as well as it can. I've never sold an A-line dress, ever. I guess most of my designs kind of don't go with A-line because I don't really design patterns. I design like bold statement graphics like this. And I couldn't imagine the market for someone getting a dress with this on, but enable it anyway. So a lot of times, especially if I've created a design for a specific background color, I will do a separate sticker and I will format that exactly how I want it formatted with normally it looks similar to this. So this is the sticker version of this design. So I still wanted to have a black background, so I'll upload this as a sticker, and it still looks okay on a white background, but it wasn't designed for a white background. So most of the time I have a separate sticker graphic that I'll upload. But in this instance, that works, so I'm going to leave the sticker as it is. And a lot of the time as well, if I don't have a vertical design like this, which is quite rare, I don't have any other designs that are vertical in this respect. But I'll always do, especially with text that runs along this way, but if I do a phone design, I'll always make a version where the text runs vertically instead. So you're not losing, it's not becoming this tiny, tiny little thing in the middle of the phone. It can fill up the whole of the back of the phone. But for this, we're pretty okay. It works nicely as it is. I guess we can go a few ways with the phone wallet. We can either go and do a pattern. I don't think it works too well as a pattern. So I'm going to go for none. And this will be the front of the wallet where the strap is. So I'm going to have it just there. Like so. This is a nice and easy design. There's not much to optimize. I haven't really needed to do multiple versions of the same design to fit different products. So nice and straightforward. So one thing that is really lacking in Redbubble, which I wish they would sort out, is the prints, cards, and posters. Now, if I go into edit mode, there's nothing I can change about this besides the background color. I can't change the size, and it will print out according to the artboard that you exported your graphic in. So for example, this artboard was 2000 by 2000 pixels square. So it's going to be printed square. And sometimes when this happens and you've got something that's not square, like a greetings card, what happens is you have white blocks on the top and at the bottom of your greetings card, which doesn't look great at all. So for this situation, I'll do different things depending on the design, but for this one, I'm going to go with a plain white background that's nice and centered. So whatever it's printed on, it's going to not look like a big black box in the middle of a white sheet. So this gives me a little bit of safety in that however this is printed, whatever orientation or the size of the paper, it's not going to appear as a design on a black box. It's just going to be a design on white. I just wish there was more ways we could edit this section, but there isn't, so we'll just apply that. This is also a little bit of a pain, this section, because something that might look great as it is on a duvet might not work as good on a shower curtain. But we'll have a good look when we've saved our design and we'll see the mock-ups on all the items at the end. This is another pain, the mugs. On TeePublic at least, you have the design on the side of the mug, like so, but it's hard to judge where the middle is on Redbubble because of the fact that if you want to align it properly, it'll go into the middle. So again, you just have to eyeball it or just keep it in the middle, like so. And make sure your default view is the front of the cup so people can actually see the design. But it's up to you where you want to actually place that. We'll leave it in the middle for now. So every time you upload a design, the process is going to be different depending on the design itself. So this part you should always look at things very critically and think how it would look best, because one size doesn't fit all when it comes to uploading your work. Unless you just do patterns, you know, things can be a little bit easier there because generally you're just changing the size of the pattern every time. But for the most part, I mean, leggings, I tend to keep things quite abstract, so I'll do something like that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I haven't ever sold a miniskirt either. I guess we can keep it kind of abstract again like that, as opposed to having techno running down. Scarves, generally, I will do a pattern with. But this doesn't really work well as a pattern. It's just the way I've set up the design. I might revisit this at some point to improve it, or to reduce the size of my artboard so there's not as much white space around. For now, I'm just going to keep it like so. So hardcover journals, you've got this little option here, which means it'll get printed on the front and the back. And generally, unless I've got a design that I want to span the entire print area of both the spine, the front and the back, I generally go for the option to do one on the front and one on the back. It's worth bearing in mind that any artboard prints will always be the size of your image. So my artboard, like I said before, is a square, so it's going to print to a square. Whereas if I had maybe a rectangular canvas, it would print rectangular. That's not the same as the acrylic block, which will always print in a square. Just going to reduce the size on this because it doesn't balance very well because it's right up onto the edge of this canvas. So I'm going to pull it down a little bit, so there's a little bit more negative space running evenly around. Cotton tote bags, I try and get to right to the edge of the available space we have as a print area. How have your guys' mask sales been? I have one that's selling ridiculously well. It's overtaken anything else I've designed so far, and it really didn't take me long to put together. It's been super surprising. There are probably about 5 of my designs that have sold on masks so far, but just this one is going crazy. So I'm hoping you guys are seeing some success with your masks. And if you don't have your designs optimized for masks, please spend the time and go through all of your designs and make sure they're available on masks, because you don't want to miss out. Mask sales have been crazy for me over June and July. Right now, I'm keeping all my jigsaw puzzles disabled. I've got no designs that would work on a puzzle. And I think trying to make my designs right now work on a puzzle would be a disservice, because it's just not going to be a very fun puzzle. I think puzzles need to be full of visual interest. They need to span the entire canvas. So right now, none of my designs as yet have fit being a puzzle right now. Okay. So at the bottom here, all I do is I'll always select, I don't know if this has any bearing or importance, but I always just click on design and digital art, which is the media that I do use to make my stuff. Recently, Redbubble have said that they'll optimize, them optimizing the work on something is the recommended setting. So I've kind of been leaving them to decide what looks best on what item. I have a suspicion that this will change. So if they're doing a lot of, say you do something very specific, a dog design, and they're selling a lot of dog designs on stickers, then they might optimize your design to be on a sticker, which might help you to get more sales in that area, as opposed to me. I used to always just go for the default t-shirt. But for now, I've kind of just been leaving that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if that's what Redbubble actually do. But if they're saying they're recommending showing your design how they see fit, I'm going to trust them that they know what they're doing. The algorithm knows what they're doing enough to optimize your design to appear on whatever's relevant. So that's my reasons behind that. Not mature content, and yes.